You're a Maine girl who traveled to California and learned how to train and work with dogs through Cesar Milan. You've made your vocation your advocation.
I think the hardest case for me was a dog that we worked with out in California that had severe separation anxiety. The dog never really got the opportunity to just like be in one settled space. What was really cool about that case was that we actually brought him to Montana with us. And Montana has the same kind of feeling as Maine does, where owners have tons of land. And so, actually, right away, we were able to find that dog a home with an owner that has 10 acres plus land. They never really leave, and so that dog just runs free on the land now, and it's surrounded by like farm animals. So if it does want to run away because it's so anxious, it's like it's not going to go far because the other animals will kind of corral it back in.
Having a beer with Fred is really about getting to people's passion and what makes them tick. Having a beer and having honest, frank, clear conversation that inspires our audience is what it's about.
Caitlin, how's it going?
Great.
Yeah, we're out there, the dogs.
We got all the dogs here. We got
Oh my God.
Goosey. We
Yeah.
got Mr. behind us.
How did Charlie bring his dog down?
He's right here. Here's the lovely Remy.
Let's see, Charlie. Okay, so that's a puppy, right?
Yes.
Is it? And that's Charlie Break Iron, young Charlie's dog. Basically, Charlie, our GM, it's the family dog, our GM from Sea Dog Treasure Island. So that's really cool.
Right. She's
Oh,
she's learning about the crate. She's got a little anxiety, so we're teaching her. I brought the crate outside so we can introduce it to her out here, and the other dogs behind us will help too because they're great with the crate, so they can show her that going in and coming out is no big deal.
right. So, as you know, this show is about having a beer with Fred, and it's an entrepreneurial show in which we just relax and talk about business. And you and I have started a business together with Adam called
That's right.
Dogwear and Care. And you got to move over just a little bit so we can see you in the picture. You can see the dogs, though.
Good.
There you
I
go.
want you guys to see the dogs.
Yeah, yeah. The dogs are beautiful, but you're more beautiful. So I guess that's. And as we've talked about in the past, you're a Maine girl who traveled to California and learned how to learn more about how to train and work with dogs through Cesar Milan. And you met your partner and call him boyfriend, uh, Adam, who's a great young man.
That's
Um,
right.
Very entrepreneurial as well. Comes
That's
from an
right.
entrepreneurial family, and so we're excited about where we are. And right now, you've had two success stories with customers that have needed help with their dogs. One, the McNutt family who got Mr. Wonderful to,
Yep, he's right here with us.
and yeah, and then Ferg and his dog,
Yep.
and you had a great event this weekend at Ferg's. Tell us what you did this weekend at Ferg's.
My gosh, it was so fun. We went to their dog park, which is right outside. First of all, it's like right outside the bar, but it also abuts the trail. So it's got a
Right
ton of
there.
visitors.
Well, Ferg's is right on Central, right next to the Tropicana field, baseball field. Yeah, and there's a right there. You're
They
talking
have
about.
a little dog park there. So we got to meet with a ton of people that normally would just go there to hang out with their dog and watch some sports. And interestingly enough, almost every single person that came into the park was working on something with their dog. And we got to meet one guy in particular that was really cool. What a dog with she's a rescue and she had to have one eye removed. So one thing that he's dealing with is like her excitement because she's got one eye removed, so she's really quick to move towards things. So what we got to do in the dog park at Ferg's was just offer some free training advice, hang out with dogs, kind of help people understand the dog language. You know, we know how to communicate as humans through our language, but how do we understand the dogs and what they're communicating in their language? And so it was really cool to just hang out, connect with people, and kind of drop some little bits of knowledge along the way.
Have you ever had a dog you just couldn't communicate with, like you couldn't connect with, or somebody's dog that, I mean, a normal dog, not a dog that was too old or, you know, had been specially trained for something else, but
Yeah. You know, I think the hardest case for me was a dog that we worked with out in California that had severe separation anxiety. And that level of separation anxiety requires a level of commitment that is years and every single day. And one of the things that was evident when we were working through this case was that, again, we were in California. We were in, you know, this dog came from Bakersfield, a shelter there. It was just chaos, right? And this dog needed they needed a home where, one, the environment was calm, they needed space, and they needed an owner that would stay consistent every single day with the training. And for Adam and I, because we travel so much for work, that was one of the hardest cases in rehabbing because our environment was changing a little bit. And so the dog never really got the opportunity to just like be in one settled space. But what was really cool about that case was that we actually brought him to Montana with us. And Montana has the same kind of feeling as Maine does, where owners have tons of land. And so actually right away, we were able to find that dog a home with an owner that has 10 acres plus land. They have horses. They never really leave, you know, and so that dog just runs free on the land now. And it's surrounded by like farm animals. So if it does want to run away because it's so anxious, it's like, it's not going to go far because the other animals will kind of corral it back in. But that was probably the hardest case, was that separation anxiety. And only because the environment that we were in just wasn't consistent enough, or it didn't allow time and space for that dog to really get to where it needed to be.
very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I'm excited about what we're working on with dog wear and care and some of the things you guys are working on. And at times it feels like it's, you know, slow moving forward. And now Martin's back from vacation, and we can probably circle back with him in the near term and talk about kind of like where we are with the development of the company
All that
and
nitty gritty stuff. Yeah.
the other ideas. But I think one big thing you guys had talked about with products, and I got thinking a little bit about maybe it may make sense to look into partnering a little bit with somebody who's in that industry already, that you might license the name and agree to promote the products and have them. This is just an option I'm talking about.
Right.
You can talk later with Adam about it, but you may know people that are in the industry and don't have that niche that
Right.
they may be already doing, or we focus and you do the Shopify and you set up that completely, or
Totally.
we partner with Sea Dog and bolt on to that as another option to do the behind the house kind of fulfillment. There's a lot of different ways to go when you start doing products and things. And I want you guys just kind of keep moving forward on that. You're working on trying to look at figuring out how you could make the leashes in the US and
Yeah.
other,
You know,
other products.
I think that's as far as like, I think we'll probably want to do a mixture of that, like a hybrid, because there are some products that like the leash and the collar that we can probably design best in-house and create in-house. But then there's other really cool products that I definitely think it'd be worth collaborating with. Like,
You can even design something, own, in for lack of a better word, not necessarily pattern, but own that
right,
design, have
right,
like a non-compete, uh, basically keep control of that and allow for somebody that focuses on selling things
Right.
And there's a lot of different ways to attack when you're growing a company, when you don't already have multiple employees or multiple other agreements. And sometimes you don't think of it that way. But it's not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah. 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 And I think, I mean, there's so many products that as I'm sitting here, like I've already, I want to, there's so many products we want to do, you know, I want to create like a little cooling sun shirt and little, you know, life jackets and all these things. But first and foremost, we want to make sure we've got the main tools that we use every day on lockdown, which is the slip lead and the collar. And then all the fun stuff can kind of grow from there.
And this is every day you chip away a little more, make it. And you, one thing I like about Adam and you is you've made your vocation your advocation, right? Robert Frost said, if you can make your vocation your advocation, that's true happiness. And it looks like you guys are doing that. So it's pretty cool. Cheers. You have a great day. And I can't wait to see you soon. Cheers.